Okay, today I'm digging in the little village of Sipsey, Alabama. And I sort of found the town dump. Well, at least a lot of people dump there. It's mostly 1960s, 70s, and 80s, but I found a few things from the 50s. And I found yet another one of these, but this one has the screw top, which I think all my other ones are the crown cap. So there's the treasure I found, sort of on top of the ground, with about a couple thousand more modern bottles. The Hillbilly Mountain Dew No Deposit. It's a solid $10 to $12 bottle all day long, so that was a nice score. There was a couple more that were cracked and broken. And then the blue labeled Fanta. It's barely worth bringing back. And the Grapette Figural Bank. Yeah, it still has the cap with the coin slot in it. So that's probably worth $10 or $12. And even though the paint is ruined on this one, I have never heard of it or seen it before. So I could probably use a Sharpie and fill that paint in, and it would look reasonably good on the shelf. It's from Jasper, Alabama, which is where I just spent the last 5 days, and I didn't see any over there. Then we have the Art Deco style Try Me bottle. These are very common in Alabama, but some of them can be rare depending on the city name. And this one says Parish. That's a very small town. This is probably one of the rarest ones there is. Might be the only one known to exist. I'm hoping it's worth a lot. And then, of course, we got this other one. It's got a lot of case wear on it, but it's worth something. It's just got the patent information on the bottom, no city. Well, I think I'll go down there one more time and check it out and see if I can find any other stuff. No dumping. You know what that means. It means it has been used as a dump for quite a while, so we might have to check this area out. It looks pretty promising to me. Of course, this side looks pretty good too. Oh, I didn't know this town was like Camp Hill, where it's 99% black people. I just got threatened with being shot if I didn't get out of here in 10 seconds. Okay, now we have moved on down the highway to the village of Empire. There's a lot of vacant lots over here, so hopefully I'll find some privies this time. Okay, I am ready to start searching the town of Empire. Right in front of me is a road. Can't really see it anymore, but there's a road that used to go through there, and there's 4 houses on either side. And at the end of the road, there's probably going to be a dump. So let's see what's down there. Well, here I am, halfway down the road. I don't see how houses could have been right here. It's too much of a slope. Okay, what about down here? This looks like a likely spot for some trash to be thrown anyway. I do see a few scattered bottles, but they don't look very old. Your typical no deposit Coke bottle. And a Pepsi bottle. But I think I'll probe around and see if I can find a layer of trash. Okay, back on the road. Now I'm going to check this other side. I see a hollow over here. Looks like a very likely spot. I already can see some glass over there in the distance. As always in Alabama, I'm finding plenty of modern dumps and never finding anything that's 100 years old. And there's another road over this way that had 3 houses on either side, and then they've been torn down, and now it's turned into the landfill. I just found this laying on top of the ground. Looks like it might be worth something. Since I'm not finding any bottles, I might as well bring this home. Yeah, they're definitely using this as the city dump for the past 40 years. And as always, I'm finding plenty of no deposit sellers. But They're just Pepsi and Coke, so they're just no good. Yeah, there's millions of Pepsi bottles around of the no deposit. But what do we have here? Do you see that? It's a Mountain Dew bottle. And it's got all that heavy texturing all over it. That's definitely a $12 bottle right there. So that's my best find for the day so far. And we have a giant pile of trash right here. Some people might think it's worth raking through it. There's some cans and maybe a few soda bottles in here. But unless I see something really interesting, I'm not going to really want to dig through all of this. And here's one of those Grape-A-Co bottles that always make me wonder if they're worth bringing home or not, because they always got that nice embossing on the shoulder. But the paint is usually pretty well gone. Yeah, there was some houses over here somewhere. And I was just walking along and I saw this. Can you see that depression? It's about a 3-foot square. Something's buried in there. I just don't know, because I'm sure they used privies in the 1970s and even in the 80s probably over here. I just don't know how to tell if it's going to be old enough to dig or not. Okay, this looks like a pretty likely spot down there. Yeah, that looks like where people would be dumping. Okay, I went on down there and found all kinds of bottles. The classic Tab bottle. It was a national brand, but yet, how many of them do you see around anymore? And one of these Mountain Dews from maybe as new as 1991. But when I wash the mud off, this side's going to be pretty bright, so people actually buy these for $5 or $6. And then another Tab of the other variety. And I was surprised to see this. The diamond design, no deposit Coke bottles are pretty good. I have a hard time selling them, but you just don't see a whole lot of them, and they are from the late 60s, maybe even the mid 60s. And then I salvaged this off of a 10-ounce no deposit just because it's such a mint condition example. I just can't understand these little mountain towns. There's so many dumps, but they're all modern. There was at least 2,000 people here 100 years ago. Where is all their trash? I don't know. I just can't find a single site. I can't find any hint of any old glass. So, I guess we're going to have to settle for this 1970s and 80s kind of stuff. Well, I found an old cemetery on the way to Blossburg. And it looks like the kind of place that could have a dump on the back side of it. Okay, this looks like a creepy area where a dump would probably be.